These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
And the whole town said the boys should have used red, but it looked good to Charlene in John Deere green.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket, episode 45. I am your host, Marlin Wells, alongside host Nathan Folsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How goes it today, my man?
You know, I hope I am getting towards the end of the COVID odyssey. I still can't smell anything. I can taste a little bit. I can taste the sweet treats. So if I go to Dairy Queen, I can enjoy the cool treats, but not the hot eats.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that if you're going to have only one of those, that's the way I would prefer it. So
Yeah.
I do like a hot eat from a Dairy Queen, though. I do like a chicken strip basket, but
Yeah, that's
if you made
about
me
it.
choose between that and a fucking cookie dough blizzard, I'm going to take the blizzard every time.
You know what always bums me out is if you get a chicken strip basket and they don't butter the toast. It just feels like disrespectful.
There's something about dry white toast in general where I'm like, am I in prison? What is happening?
Exactly. Oh, so I look like an asshole because you are treating me like an asshole. So,
It's always baffled me that was Elwood Blues' order in that movie. Like, dry white toast? What kind of fucking psychopath?
yeah. And what does Elwood order?
Jake orders 4 fried chickens and a Coke.
4 fried. That's so absurd.
You want legs? You want white meat or dark meat? I want 4 fried chickens and a Coke. Please. God, that movie's so good.
Oh yeah. Top 5 comedies for me. When she goes back into the kitchen, Aretha Franklin, she's like Hasidic diamond salesman.
One of them wants dry white toast, and the guy's just like, Elwood.
Yeah.
And the other wants 4 fried chickens and a Coke. Jake!
Yeah.
Like, he just knows right away.
Yeah. And I think part of the charm of that movie is like all the backing band are not actors, they're actual musicians. So
Yeah.
their acting is often horseshit. Like some of his deliveries, like, listen, you're the woman, I'm the man, just with no conviction.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
Aretha Franklin is a good actor.
Yeah. So much of the band can't act because they're musicians. They're not actors.
Exactly. Yeah.
I always like that's part of the appeal of that movie for me because it's like, oh, they clearly just hired whoever they wanted to hire, and that happened to be these blues musicians.
I guess they're both Aykroyd and Belushi are just nerds so they were just over the moon that they got to like build their own dream team of like musicians, like.
And even people in that movie who aren't in the band, like fucking Ray Charles is in that movie.
John Lee Hooker.
Yeah, John Lee Hooker's in that movie. Fucking James Brown. Like they clearly just went out and got whoever they wanted to get.
Yeah, God damn it, the Blues Brothers is good, and it's just like they stay in character so well because it's so ridiculous, like the whole concept, but they never stray from it, like they never wink at the camera, so it's like you're invested in it, like
they just commit to it.
Yeah, like his goddamn apartment. How little it is. How often's the train go by? So often you hardly notice.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
so
then,
this has been a Blues Brothers retrospective.
And then there's the weird... I'm not done yet. Then
let's keep going. Let's keep this train rolling. Which is probably a blues song.
There's that weird B-plot of Carrie Fisher trying to kill Jake, and it's all just the most Looney Tunes shit. She blows up that building with a bazooka, and they just crawl out of the rubble and dust themselves off and walk away. That story is maybe my least favorite part of the whole movie, but it does add value just because of how fucking dumb it is.
It's to the point, like, was it because Belushi was dating her? So he's like, hey, we got to get my girlfriend in on this. Or was it because she had heat from Star Wars? It didn't make any sense. Yeah.
And yeah, especially since, like you said, like the stuff with her is so cartoonish. Like she's just Wile E. Coyote in that movie.
Yeah, good. That's a good way to put it.
Oh, God,
then John Candy has a small role in it. Like,
yeah,
and that was definitely a pre-American fame. John Candy. Then what's the drink that he orders? Orange
whips.
Orange whip?
Yep.
2 orange whips.
Yeah. Orange whip, 3 orange whips. Like,
what is an orange whip, do you think?
Oh, I have no idea. Let me check that out right now, actually. I'm not much of an orange guy, so I've never felt the need to look that up.
Yeah. God, yeah. And then the whole goddamn scene at Bob's Country Bunker
is so good.
When the other band finally shows up in that RV. You're going to have a hard time eating corn on the cob with no fucking teeth. What a weird threat. What an oddly specific threat. First off, I've never taken a vicious ass-kicking, which let's hope that continues. Let's keep that streak alive.
Keep that streak going.
If I was ever getting stomped to death outside of a rural honky-tonk, the first thing going through my head wouldn't be, oh no, how will I enjoy delicious corn on the cob this summer? And man, what's his name? Belushi in that scene. Like his acting is so perfect. Like, oh, he just switches into character. Like he's somehow like this intermediary booker for the
yeah. I love when they first step on stage in that place, and the one just goes, chicken wire? Just something about that line. Just like, yeah, if we showed up to a comedy show and they had chicken wire, one of us would probably say that.
Yeah.
So an orange whip is 1 part rum, 1 part vodka, 2 parts cream, and 4 parts orange juice.
Fuck, I think I'd like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I would regret the hangover and the sugar-infused nausea / heartburn that would cause, but
but I would regret the citric acid heartburn that I would for sure get after one of those. But
about once or twice a year, I decide tonight's the night. If I'm at a bar, I'm going to start drinking Long Island teas or have some White Russians. And if you get past that tipping point, boy, the next day, oof.
Yeah. Yeah, the point of no return comes awfully quickly with those kind of cocktails for me.
Man, yeah, especially the citric ones. So it's like, not only do you get the blood sugar crash of drinking sugar poison all night, there's also your esophagus is on fire.
Yeah, like I really love tequila and pineapple juice. That's so fucking good. But boy, like after one, I'm like, I need fucking Tums right now because it doesn't take much fruit to really fuck me up. So I mix that first one real strong because it's probably the only one I'm gonna have.
Yeah, till your body just rejects it.
Yeah, fucking tomato juice does the same thing. So I'm only good for 1 or 2 Bloody Marys. This is just 2 old men talking about their digestive issues.
How about the slow decline of their ability to digest certain acids?
Welcome to the Falling Apart cast.
You know what show's not falling apart? Well, maybe it is. It's The Simpsons.
You almost committed to that.
Yeah. If we were like at season 8, I would have boldly said it, but
yeah, you would have for sure.
We are where we are. We're getting probably the back 9 of season 10. We're in episode 19 is where we're going to start things off. It's mom and pop art. Starts with the Simpsons they're at some kind of Home Depot / Lowe's type store because Homer wants to assemble a barbecue pit and doing it in typical Homer fashion. He tries to do it very haphazardly with no thought beforehand, no prep work. So
just freestyling.
He has a great line during his frustration where he goes, "Why must I fail in every attempt at masonry?" like that's happened enough that he has a track record of not making it work.
Like he knew this was going to be trouble because of his previous Masonic efforts.
Yep. I think, is it maybe called Pop's Hardware or Dad's Hardware? Because there's like a gag where the dad is just like this like 19-year-old kid that's working at it.
It's the teenager, right? Like the teenager that works at every store in Springfield.
Yep. And then mom is like a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And if you look at what mom is wearing, oh boy, can you tell it's 1999? Because those are some, even for a cartoon, those are some very baggy jeans.
I didn't pay close enough attention, but I love that the only step in his barbecue pit building process that gets done properly is the wet cement getting laid, because he had fucking Lisa do it.
That is true, yeah.
She's sitting there all covered in wet cement, just like, I have to go rest my back. And and he just like dumps all the parts into the wet cement. I think accidentally, but like it goes from there.
And as one can imagine, it is a goddamn shit show. It is. It is. When I didn't even put two and two together that's where this episode's going. It's like, that looks like some kind of modern art. It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's just random shit stuck together. And he's also very angry while he's doing this, so it just gets more and more mangled. And he tries to take it back to the store, which is a great move.
That's bold. Like, did you really expect them to take this back?
Yeah, because, there are some stores that probably would. Like, oh, God. You maybe never grew up around one, because I don't think Fargo ever had one, but there used to be Circuit Cities.
Okay, I know the name, but I don't think I've ever been in one. We were a Radio Shack territory.
Yeah, Circuit Cities, you could go buy a VCR, have it be your common law wife, and consummate that common law marriage for 30 days. Only 30 days. For 30 days, before the clock struck midnight, you could bring that VCR in full of your love sauce, and they would take it back. They had, and that was their thing. That was what they advertised. Like, there was a couple like indie filmmakers that made movies that way. They would buy a camera, bust their ass. In 29 days, they'd return the camera and get their money back.
Crazy. That's fucking bonkers.
Shocking. It's not open anymore.
Yeah. Who'd have known why Circuit City went belly up?
I worked at a Makita power tool shop. You could go into a Makita shop, buy a drill, maintain eye contact with the employee as you walk outside, bash that drill against the edge of the curb until it is just tiny pieces, maintaining eye contact the whole time, walk back in seconds later with a handful of broken plastic and metal parts, dump it on the counter, like, yeah, these drills don't work, I need my money back. And if you bitched hard enough, you would. That was company policy, that the customer always gets whatever they want. So,
God, just fucking wild. How many assholes took advantage of that?
Oh my God, yeah, it was just bonkers. To the point that they say, well, fuck it. If the powers that be don't care, why should I? It's not like I'm not getting a Christmas bonus because this jabroni's going to get a skill saw refund. Fuck it. It's Mardi Gras every day here. I'll give you refunds on shit
everyone.
Oh, this is DeWalt. I don't care. Here's some money. What do you think it's worth?
Oh, you brought back a Craftsman. We don't sell that here, but let me mix you a Hurricane and get you some cash. We'll send you on your way.
The employees don't have their shirts on. There's no rules at Makita.
Oh God.
But they at Pop's Hardware, they take it a little more seriously, so Homer does not get his money back, but he does get his ridiculous grill discovered by one of the local tastemakers of the burgeoning Springfield art scene, and he's immediately considered it's a masterpiece of outsider art, and because of this, he gets his own art exhibition. Which, as you can imagine, Marge, not thrilled, because Marge is an actual painter. She's an actual artist.
Yeah, Marge is the actual artist, and there's a lot of scenes of her really struggling with Homer's newfound art success.
Yep. And then he becomes kind of like, oh, God, the group of, like, art snobs that they put together is pretty great.
Oh man, yeah, the Euro trash art snobs that are hangers on are fucking insufferable.
Yeah, and so then basically the rest of the episode is just kind of Homer being an artist. And man, I enjoyed this episode, but there's a terrible joke that like where it's like Homer is gonna draw a nude Lenny and Carl, and it's like
yeah, he's in the like at work in the employee showers.
Yeah. And they're like, you're doing this for your art, right, Homer? And he's like, oh yeah, art, that's it. So it's like, what are you trying to convey? Because Homer is like a homophobe, and like, not that a homophobe can't have bi-curious tendencies, but like he never does ever. So it's like, it's just like they thought of a joke and they didn't even care that it didn't fit the character, and they just shoehorned it in. Like,
yeah, they just like, did it anyway. It was super out of place, but like, to give them a little credit, it only took 20 seconds of the way from the episode, so I wasn't that offended, but like, it was definitely like, what was that fucking weird joke in the middle here?
Yeah, it's just it's totally lazy writing. Here's it's like you as a comic writer, I'm sure you've thought of things that are funny, but you realize, oh, this isn't me. This doesn't fit what I deliver. Yeah. It'd be out of place. So I guess it just goes into the burn pile.
Yeah, or at the very least, this doesn't fit here, so I'll set it aside and use it somewhere else. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely been like, that's funny, but I would never, like, that doesn't fit what I do, so out the door.
I know you're a bit of an artiste. Do you, like, if you travel anywhere, do you get into going to art museums?
Yeah, I like to go to, like, the local spaces around town if I'm in it. Like, I was visited Huntsville, Alabama, like, around this time last year, and they have a cool art space where it's like, you know, hey, here's this abandoned brewery, and we rent out, spaces in it, and all these artists set up shit. Like, I'm always down to go to something like that. Yeah,
me too. Like, I'm not making big plans wherever I go somewhere, but if the opportunity presents itself, I'm always in. And one thing I like about art shit is you do it at your own pace. Like, you can hustle through there if you want.
Yeah.
It ain't like a 4-hour movie, you know, like where I'm here, the lights are off, I guess I'm stuck here. You can walk briskly, or you can sit and stare at a painting for 45 minutes, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm much less of a fan of like a true blue buttoned up art museum, and more of a fan of like, hey, this guy sells fucking, painted doorknobs at a fucking farmer's market. Like, I'm more into that kind of shit, the kitschy, low-budget shit, but I will go to an art museum. I'm not above it, but if given the opportunity between the two, I would sure go to that abandoned brewery again and check shit out. That was a fun spot, because it was everything from, like, oh, this guy paints, and in the booth next to him, this guy makes fucking functioning guitars out of cardboard cigar boxes. And then over in the corner is a fucking distiller. Like, such a cool, weird space.
Yeah. I love shit like that. That's like the one in downtown Fargo. I think half the reason I enjoy it is because the building itself is cool and interesting. Like,
yeah, that adds value.
Plains Art
sure.
Museum.
Yeah.
So Homer is the talk of the art world, or at least the art world in Springfield. And he gets his own show, which is Art in America, I think is what it's called. But all of his art is the same thing as the Mangled Grill. It's
just like, here's another thing I broke.
Yep. And which I'm sure happens in the art world. He went from being the hottest ticket in town to just being forgettable because his art was repetitive.
Yeah, and one of as the Euro trash hanger-ons are abandoning him, one of them says, hurry, we can still get in on the heroin craze.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, boy. 1999, I don't know that you're coming late to that party, but okay.
Or they're very early to what the real heroin craze is going to be. And let me tell you, it ain't as cool as the 90s heroin craze.
Right. A doctor gives it to you most of the time.
It's 3 dudes in the parking lot of a Winn-Dixie snorting shit off the hood of a fucking Toyota Tercel. stealing their grandmother's pain pills. It's not partied with Kate Moss.
Nana got a hip replaced, so we're going to snort up her OxyContin off this fucking Tercel.
It wouldn't be a Tercel if it was in like rural Ohio. It'd be like an 89 Cutlass.
Or one of those trashy old Toyota single cab pickups that's been jacked up and has roll bars on it. Like ISIS drives.
Yeah, you're right. ISIS loves the little Japanese pickup, don't they? Like a little Toyota or Mitsubishi pickup.
Nissan pickups, yeah.
Nissan,
they're big.
Yeah.
They're big on the small models. Throw a fucking gun in the back of it and off to the races.
I don't know if there's much advertising potential there for Toyota. So Homer now is in a panic, and he has to try to gain back the goodwill he lost in the art community. So he decides to do something real sensible. He floods the fucking town and puts snorkels on all the animals.
Yeah. That's his big, like Lisa gives him that idea of like, do something big and shocking, like don't just make a thing, make, I forget the examples she gives, but kind of a big deal sort of thing. And yeah, that's how he decided to go for it. He wanted to make the Venice canals in Springfield.
So the townspeople, for some insane reason, they think is just terrific.
They're so super into it.
Yeah. The Grand Canals of Springfield, they're referred to as.
Yeah, and it only makes sense if you don't think about it. Living where we do, where it floods real bad every 15 years, like, don't think about what the water is doing to all of everyone's homes.
Yeah, everything's ruined. Just burn those houses down. They are totally destroyed.
But I love that the whole town just loves it.
Yeah. In reality, they would soon learn that a fucking half a foot of water in your house can almost destroy it, let alone 10 feet of water.
Yeah, exactly. Much less water up to the second floor windows on your home.
One thing I enjoyed about this episode, we get a little bit of that old healthy Homer and Marge romance at the end.
Yeah, they're getting some smooching done on the roof.
Yeah, it's I always like that. Good for them. Harkens back to the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
My note for this episode was not that funny, but fine. Enjoyable.
I was pretty into this one. I thought there was a lot of good jokes. Like it opens with, it's not even a joke, but something so out of the blue that I needed to notate it. He's laying in a hammock, pouring beer into a coconut. That's not a real drink, right? Like a coconut drink is like rum and juice of some sort, but you're not pouring fucking Busch Light into a coconut, are you?
That's the drink of a madman, is what that is. Like, they lock people up for shit like that.
Yeah, that was... as soon as I saw that, I was like, what are you doing? That's not... Maybe that's just his real budget way to have a beach drink in his hammock.
Man, that's another thing. Talking about drinks I only have every once in a while. It's because it's only when I'm in a vacation-y type spot. There is something about a pina colada, man. That combination of shit hits the spot.
I love a pina colada, but have never had the true blue on a beach out of a coconut pina colada experience. So.
I once got how depressing it is. I was in Reno, Nevada, piss pants drunk at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday at a hotel. Only wanted a pool, floating alone, and the server would just wander by. You want another one? They're the size of a goddamn bird bath. So it's just very, very cumbersome. But I was just slurping that thing. My bill was $200. It's like, wait a second. These are $19 a pop. Worth it. I don't even feel bad about shitting in that pool. You want a tip? Check the temperature on that shrimp you're serving. is doing a number on me.
Oh, Christ. That'll teach you to serve me. Let me take a ruddy dump in your swimming pool in the middle of the afternoon.
If it's just leaking out, is it even taking a shit?
God damn it. Yes.
Because I didn't even really release anything. It just came out on its own accord.
Yeah, no, just a slow drip.
Like the semantics of shitting in someone else's pool. Listen, sir.
Oh, God.
I didn't know I was shitting in your pool until I was in a shitty pool. Do you think I just would be in here?
Oh, God. Like a slow leak on an old farm pickup.
Yep.
You just gotta fill that one tire once a week.
Yeah. Keep it running.
God damn.
Oh, God, I do like splashing. I could use some pool time.
There was also a moment in that episode where Homer pulls a shotgun out from behind the tank of his toilet when the art lady comes to find him because he hit her car with his weird art. And like I had so many questions. I rewound it like 3 times. I was like, A, they have an elevated tank toilet, which I don't think I've ever seen in real life, like with the chain. And it's like, who has that in their house in the late 90s? I don't think that's a thing. Secondly, a fucking double-barrel shotgun behind there. What the hell? Like, we had the Homer is a bad gun owner episode, but apparently that shotgun got through the fucking screen as we got rid of them.
Yeah. Do you think they sell many double-barreled shotguns anymore?
I don't know. Is every double-barreled shotgun just a hand-me-down, just an inheritance piece at this point?
I wonder, yeah. It just seems like they have to have been replaced with like semi-autos and pump actions. Holy shit, now it's gun talk with Marlin and Nathan. Discussing the decline in sales. Like, why don't you ever see lever action 30-30s anymore?
Oh, man. The decline of the lever action rifle is a sad thing.
It is.
Because lever action rifles are the best.
Is there anything more fucking baller than watching Linda Hamilton work that lever action in T2?
Right? Or any fucking cowboy movie with a fucking Henry rifle with the brass plate on the side.
Yeah.
They're very satisfying to shoot. One of the handful that I own is a lever action 357.
Oh, no kidding. Like, I need to talk to a gun person. Thankfully for the listeners, it will be off the air. I want to find out why you don't see lever actions anymore. Like, what happened to them?
They do still make them. Like, I have a friend who's a much bigger gun fanatic than I am who recently bought a new 357 lever action rifle. So they are out there.
Oh, interesting. Okay. God.
But I don't know how in vogue they are.
If anyone from the Winchester Company listening, I think with just the right PR campaign, you could get lever actions up to their rightful place in gun ownership.
Yeah, let us tour the weird house, and then we want to talk lever action guns.
Yeah. The weird haunted house that old lady lived in, old lady Winchester.
There was also in that episode a funny joke, I thought anyway, of when Homer is in the museum with Marge trying to get some inspiration, and he dozes off on the bench and has that weird dream sequence, and the fucking... What's that Leonardo da Vinci thing? The Vitruvian man who has all of the arms and the legs, like comes rolling into frame, hops out, and just kicks the shit out of Homer with all of his too many arms and legs. Oh, God. And then, like, Andy Warhol's throwing soup cans at him. I thought that was a fun little dream sequence.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, like... Sure, that was a good episode. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. Like, middle of the road.
At this point, that's, like, it wasn't bad, which I'll take that.
Episode 20 is The Old Man and the Sea Student. We start off with the Olympic Commission trying to decide on a city to host the Olympics, and of course they pick Springfield because it's The Simpsons. Lisa had written a letter telling them how nice it would be if the torch would pass through their city, and they took it a step further, and they're going to host the Olympics there. Channel 6 is having a mascot contest, and I don't know why, but I really love Springy the mascot that Homer, quote-unquote, invents. He just, slaps googly eyes and a couple flags on a fucking bed spring.
Yeah. Do they still have an Olympic mascot each year?
I think so, because I think they even showed the Tokyo one before that got canceled last year.
Okay, because I remember up until the 90s, I can picture some of them, and then when they're going over the old ones, I love the one they mentioned, the Montreal Vampire. Holy shit, would I have been a big fan of that Olympics.
Oh, God. So good. Yeah, they're always some weird, like abstract character. It's very rarely like, this is the mascot and he's a dog. Like it's always
it's never a cartoon dog.
Exactly. It's always something that doesn't exist. But I did like Springy a lot. It was the perfect middle ground of I could see that being an Olympic mascot, and I could see Homer coming up with that.
Yeah. And I like too, how he won't let it go. It keeps coming up in the episode too. He's a spring man now, like it or not.
Yeah, he committed to this. The committee is all set to move forward with giving Springfield the Olympics until Bart does a comedy roast on them and offends everybody.
Yeah.
Which I'm with Chalmers on this one when he tears Skinner up and down about why would you put Bart on stage to do this?
No shit. And I like how, in total, Don Rickles fashion, he has, a tuxedo on, like an old style, insult comic.
Yeah. Tuxedo, but with shorts, as is Bart's style.
Yeah, the little pants.
Yeah. But that was fun. I like that, all of the committee members have a sash with what country they're from. And I like that when he gets to Poland, he just goes too easy and moves to the next person.
Yeah.
So Skinner sentences all of the kids to community service. I felt bad for every other kid because they didn't ruin this. Bart did, but whatever. Everybody gets punished.
Did you ever have to do community service as a kid?
No, I was never assigned it as a punishment, but I certainly did my fair share just belonging to 4-H or FFA.
Oh,
you clean some ditches and some fairgrounds just being part of those organizations, but I was never given it as a punishment or a sentencing.
Never got busted drinking underage or anything like that.
Right? Yeah, nothing like that. You?
Yeah. No, I was just trying to think in my head. I didn't ever get in trouble with the law until I was 18. So, yeah, I never had to deal with a parole officer or anything like that.
Yeah, same here. I outside of a speeding ticket when I was 17, I also have not had many run-ins with the 5-0.
When I was 18, I got pulled over and I got a minor in possession. We weren't drinking yet. We had enough fucking booze to sink a battleship in my car, though. So the cops I ended up fighting it because I just kind of realized that there's a loophole here. They had no right to pull me over. I took it to court, defended myself, and won.
Nice.
Shout out to myself, 1-0, retired undefeated. And the best part is a good friend of mine was with me who was still 17, and he got a minor too. And since he was a juvenile, he had to go to a juvenile, officer and all that shit. And when I got out of mine, he just decided he was out of his too. And just quit. And I think at one time the guy contacted him hey man, why aren't you? He's like, no dude, it's over. It's the court said we. And he's like, what are you talking about? And as far as I know, he just stonewalled them and nothing was done about it.
Jesus.
So if there's a lesson to any of our teenage listeners, if you're obstinate enough, you could just commit crimes.
I mean, that's what Trump did.
Yeah,
He
there we go.
rode that
Yeah.
all the way to the top.
And he became president. So here's a gold toilet. Do you want a gold toilet?
No,
Don't
I
listen
don't.
to the cops.
How fucking gaudy is that?
How heavy that lid is. Gold
And
is
cold?
dense.
That's got to be cold sitting on that in the middle of the night.
It's just, I can't believe he comes from money because he's like one of the fucking Beverly Hillbillies. Like, it seems like he won it in a scratch off. Like, how did you come from money and still be this fucking trashy? But that's another podcast.
Speaking of motherfucking scratch-offs, I was in a gas station, a Minnesota gas station earlier today, and fucking standing in line to buy my energy drinks and corn dogs, and the fucking guy right in front of me spent what felt like 25 minutes, like, just staring in the little counter window, looking, and with his finger pointing and reading every scratch-off ticket in there for way too long. I was right behind him, and there were 3 people behind me, and that was the only register open.
I'm legit getting angry listening to this. It bothers me so much.
And he fucking hemmed and hawed, and you know what he came away with? He bought 1 scratch-off ticket.
Oh my fucking God. Like,
one $2 scratcher. It's like, Jesus, I wanted him to scratch it right there because now I'm emotionally invested. Did you win? Was it worth it?
That's like, I will give you $10 right now to go fuck off. Like, how does that sound?
I'm usually a pretty patient person, and I wasn't in any manner of hurry, but boy, was I standing there just like, come on, man. Holy shit.
Or the Powerball, I gotta have my special numbers, as this fucking idiot tries to recall the starting offensive line for the 82 Seahawks. Oh, Walter Jones, was he 77 or 71? My TV screen's so small. Oh, fuck off, you're not gonna win.
Also, grab a ticket and a pencil and step aside and then get in line. Like, that's how that's supposed to work.
Why don't they make those like vending machines beside the ATM? Like, let those fucking idiots do it. Oh my God. And this is coming from someone that gambles. I like to gamble.
I'm a dreamer. I get it. But I also need this Rockstar energy drink in me right now. And you're in the way of that.
Yeah, go fucking find a dice game like a real adult. Lose a fucking car payment that night. Don't pussyfoot around with this $2 shit.
Yeah,
what kind of rush do you get from that?
Make a problem out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't stand at the counter for the length of an entire Adult Swim cartoon to buy a $2 ticket.
I believe it was the famed gambler Titanic Thompson that once said, the only feeling better than gambling and winning is gambling and losing. That's why you got to gamble big, because you do get a dopamine rush from losing a fucking house payment in one 15-minute bad stretch. Then sadness kicks in. But I've only, thankfully, only a few times. It's a feeling that's very unique. Like this weird feeling comes over you when you've lost a colossal amount of money that you can't afford.
Man, I'm going to continue.
That's a dragon you don't need to chase.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to not have experienced that. Yeah. I don't think I've ever lost more than $50 gambling in a day.
Ooh, boy, yeah, good for you.
Because I set limits for myself. Like, if I lose this, I step away. I don't step to the ATM to get more.
I was just going to say, I step away in rage as I stumble over to the ATM. I'll show that blackjack table a thing or two.
I'm going to take this charity gambling organization for everything it's worth.
Yep. They're going to be selling back wheelchairs to pay me off.
Show them.
Yeah. Who do they think they are, helping kids walk? I need leg braces.
I'm going to make them have a real sad Christmas when I come back and get on a hot streak.
Yeah. Just you wait, sad kids. You're never gonna beat John Cena.
Oh shit. So all the kids get sentenced to community service. I like that Milhouse has to clean up medical waste at the beach and just immediately get stabbed with a syringe. Bart gets sentenced to the retirement home, so he has to work there. Turns out Lisa has been volunteering there for like a year, so she's there already. Yeah. And I like Bart's attitude towards the retirement home of like, what are we doing? We're just like placating these people. They should be out having fun. Like, and man, when they go, okay, it's nap time, and then start vacuuming the old people, holy shit, that was funny.
Yep. And the other nice added benefit is finding out moments like a little bit later that the old people are unaware that they're getting vacuumed. Yep. Like, what? They vacuum us?
They vacuum us? Yeah. God, that was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing old folks home shit, snack time, nap time, bingo time, things like that. In the meantime, Homer receives his shipment of springs. He was so positive that he was going to win this contest that he ordered like 10,000 springs to sell around town. So we keep checking in with his B story, but he gets his shipment of springs.
Is it just me, or is that a common trope in The Simpsons? Is Homer having some kind of get-rich-quick thing?
Yeah, we've seen it before with the sugar pile and the robocalls. Like, he occasionally has a get-rich-quick scheme.
The tonic that him and Grandpa sell.
Yeah, it ended up being not a B story, but like the whole episode with him making booze during the Prohibition episode.
Yep.
Yeah, Homer's always out for a side hustle. He's always out to make a buck.
Again, Simpsons were ahead of the curve.
Yep, now we all need it.
To live.
Yep, not just for extras, but for the very basics. We go back to the old folks home, and maybe my favorite joke of all the old folks shit, maybe even more so than the vacuuming, is when they're fucking watching Gone with the Wind edited for seniors edition, when Scarlett O'Hara is coming up to Rhett Butler asking what she'll do, and he turns and clearly the mouth says, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn, but the voiceover is like, you're right, let's get remarried, it'll work out this time, and then it just smash cuts to the end and says fucking senior, edited for seniors edition. And I think it's either Hans Moleman or the bearded one speaks up, wasn't there a war in that movie? And they drag him out of the room kicking and screaming. Holy shit, I thought that was funny. Maybe that was just more pointed at me because I like Gone with the Wind. So.
I have never seen it.
It's good. It's no Casablanca, but as far as that era of filmmaking, I like Gone with the Wind.
Very, very, very fucking good.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty hot. Homer is trying to sell springs door to door, and then he's got him down at the bar. He jams them into like the prank peanut can where the snakes are supposed to jump out. And Lenny and Moe both try it and both get springs jammed into their eyes, which was like hard, like for me anyway. I like winced watching that, and like I'm not some fucking soft boy. I can handle like gore in movies and something, but something about the end of a pointy spring sticking out of Moe's and Lenny's eyeballs, I was like, jeez.
I don't like in horror movies. I don't like shit. I don't like things messing with eyes. I don't like messing with teeth. Yeah, and I don't like fingers like.
Oh, sure. Fingernails and all that.
Broken, like, compound fractured fingers and stuff. Like,
yeah.
There's that scene in Pan's Labyrinth where the military's captured that guy and they're torturing him. And, like, they've cut down in between his fingers into his hands and stuff. Yeah. Gnarly.
I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. That's a good movie. Yeah, eyes and teeth are my big ones. And God damn it. And I was like, this is The Simpsons, and I winced at The Simpsons. What is happening? So yeah, we get that weird eye horror bit in there. I like that Homer continues to not be able to get rid of these springs.
Yep.
Bart busts the old folks out of the old folks' home. They got what is it? Can't Buy Me Love from the Beatles.
Of course they did.
And they're going to use as much of it as they can, because that scene of them just frolicking in the park goes on too long.
The amount of release from the Beatles blue balls, these fucking boomer fucking Simpsons writers must have released after this. Finally, they can get the goddamn fuck the Beatles in the mouth. I don't even the fucking... I don't get it. It's like John Cena. It's when something is, hey, this guy's the number one good guy ever, you're gonna hate it after a while. It's like the Beatles.
Yeah, not a fan.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I felt like they only made that scene so long so they could hear as much of that song as they could. Like
totally.
That was a scene for the writers, apparently.
Yep. They're just feverishly jerking off as they fucking listen to
that. Bart takes them all out on a boat cruise. We cut back to maybe my biggest laugh of the whole episode, of which there were a handful. I liked this episode.
Yep, I agree.
When Homer is like, he's like trying to run his sales pitch past Marge on like the... He's put springs on the bottom of the frying pan so the burgers will flip themselves, and he starts a small grease fire.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what about the springy baby? And he picks up Maggie just covered in springs.
Yeah.
And I thought of you right away and how your baby maker gets humming with some Maggie shit. But like when he picks her up and she has just the most concerned, worried look on her face.
Yep.
And then he just straight up drops her and she bounces back. And then he's he flat out like throws some basketball moves, throwing some and one shit and dunks her into the fucking high chair. God, I fucking laughed at that.
Yeah, that was a good visual.
Because he had Marge the whole time being like, give me the baby. No, don't quit dropping the baby. As he's just boing, 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 just bouncing Maggie all over the place. Holy shit, I thought that was funny.
I love when they find a way to like get gags out of Maggie. Like,
yeah. God damn it. Just that extremely worried look on her face.
Yep.
Fuck, I was laughing. And then we see Homer just upstairs one at a time flushing these springs down the toilet.
Yep.
You could just take them to the dump or like the scrapyard and get $5 for the box. Like you could, but no, he's resigned to just one by one flushing them down the toilet.
Just flush those bad boys.
Yeah. Burns' sailboat crashes into the old people cruise ship that they're on, and their boat is sinking. There's a weird moment where Jack LaLanne is there, voicing himself, who I only know from juicer commercials. I don't know why he's actually famous.
A celebrity cameo that I did enjoy. I thought that was hilarious. Like,
yeah, because he steps forward all ripped, like he's the old man jacked, like he always is or was. I don't know if he's still alive.
Jack LaLanne was like the first TV like exercise instructor.
Okay, like before fucking Tony Little and...
I mean, he dates back to like the mid-50s because ESPN2 or ESPN Classic in the mornings, like from like 5 to 7 when no one's watching, they would re-air his show, and it was fascinating how... just terrible the exercise ideas he was like no thought of back support or anything. It's like, oh, for all the housewives out there, hang your feet off the edge of the high chair and hold 2 mixers in both hands and swing them in concentric circles. Like, that'll build that core that the guys will love.
Sounds like a good way for some poor lady to drop a blender on her face.
Yeah, it was all mad. Like, and I worked for a vitamin company that he did some promotional work for us. And I never got to meet the guy, but we had plenty of things with him in it into his 90s.
Crazy.
Probably still could have kicked my ass, but he has passed now, but he had a very full life.
Yeah, I remember him from the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer commercials. That was his juice making machine.
Yeah.
That he always did infomercials for. And yeah, just a fucking jacked old man.
Yeah, a little guy too, just a tiny little guy.
He shows up to try to save the cruise ship or cruise boat, whatever you want to call it, and grabs a rope and puts it in his teeth and goes swimming away, pulling them, and then the boat just splits and he's left with just the very tip of it, and he just swims off, just that didn't work, and he's gone. So the boat is sinking and it goes beneath the water and then pops back up again. And it does that 4 times before Lisa's like, what is going on? And the camera goes down underwater. And wouldn't you know it, they're right over the pipe that Homer is flushing all his springs out of. And they're resting on the ocean floor. And so the boat is hitting the springs and bouncing back up.
So stupid, but it was funny.
So good. I loved it. I like when the A story and the B story become the same story. At the end, Seinfeld was always pretty good about that, about wrapping up, the two things are always connected in the end. I always like that. But yeah, so every time the ship bounces up, the fucking Coast Guard rescues a couple people and then it goes down again. And then they just helicopter off into the sunset. And that's a wrap on that one.
Yeah, that was, again, fine. I enjoyed it. Probably more so than the previous one. So I think this was, I think we're on a nice upward trajectory with the episode so far.
Yeah, I really liked that episode quite a bit, actually. Between the old folks jokes and the all the B story with Homer and the Springs, I thought we got a lot of good comedy out of that one.
Yeah, I thought so too. Especially for the era we're in now. That was a very good episode.
Yeah.
And will it continue with episode 21? Monty Can't Buy Me Love. Monty Can't Buy Me Love. Took me a second
love
there.
The Beatles.
Yep. Oh, fuck yeah. And what I was thinking with this one is, one thing I like about this show is just watching it like we are from the beginning, is just the reminders of random cultural phenomenons. Because you forget, this is kind of right around the time when Antiques Roadshow was getting to be a big thing. Because we get it, I don't know if they call it that, but that's what it is. There's an Antiques Roadshow type thing.
And that's, I fucking used to watch the shit out of Antiques Roadshow.
I still enjoy it if I catch it.
On public television.
And thinking back, I would say that the success of that show kind of is what led to the success of all those basic cable type, American Pickers, even shit like Storage Wars. Yep.
There might be an old thing that is surprisingly valuable in this thing, in this
Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars is the same thing.
I always liked Antique Roadshow because it was so fucking wholesome. The ones, the favorites were always here's this little old woman who has no idea that this spoon is actually worth something, but then watch her light up as this nerd tells her that this is a $400,000 spoon, you know? And she's just like, oh, what? That's great. It's a very wholesome show.
Yep. Oh, that's good. I'll never sell it because it meant so much to me, Ma, but that's nice to know, It's aw. And it always felt pretty real and genuine, unlike Storage Wars, which I found out a friend of mine worked in the production aspect of it. It's all a scam. It's they just place interesting shit into these storage units.
That's kind of what I always assumed, that they were all plants,
Yeah. Because it never made any sense. It's here is a room full of dusty sacks of old clothes. Oh, and a pristine samurai sword. Why? Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at this. What could this be? Cut to commercial.
Yeah. Oh, this storage unit is tits deep in dirty diapers, but there's one of the Dead Sea Scrolls in the middle. Amazing.
Yeah, it's like Buddy Holly's foot in a jar. Like, I'll take it to my Buddy Holly limb guy and see what he has to say. Are feet in this year, Dennis? Let me take a look.
Here amongst all these broken Atari cartridges is John Dillinger's penis. Who'd have thought? Huh, and it's wrapped in $100 Confederate bills. I'll be damned.
Oh, I wonder if Dwayne, my outlaw penile Confederate, if he's available this afternoon to take a look at the stunning find.
Yes, I run a store out of Raleigh, North Carolina that deals in Confederate money and famous genitalia, and that's it. What?
Only famous criminals, too.
Yep.
Dust Bowl famous. Would you be interested in a coin purse made from the nutsack of Babyface Nelson?
You ever heard of Bonnie and Clyde? Here's Clyde's tackle.
I'd shop there.
What a weird store. I didn't know the Confederacy had so many coins. Like, it's a weird cross-section of people that are coming to that store. Like, historical currency enthusiasts and fucking weirdos.
Yeah. And I bet there's a lot of looky-loos at a store like that. There's not a lot of purchases getting made.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a hell of an impulse buy.
I came down here to go to a college basketball game. And
I ended up buying Ma Parker's labia. Or Barker, pardon me for the Ma Barkers.
Oh, God.
So the Simpsons are on the road and they notice this big fancy new mega mall type thing. The name escapes me right now, and it's basically supposed to be
Fortune Megastore.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a Virgin Megastore. It has to be what they're going after. And they go inside. It's very fancy and it's very late 90s because now the idea of a store being cool is just weird. Like, nope, no one shops with other people anymore. We just live
we don't
in
go
darkness.
to malls, much less some fancy mall.
Yep. And they're enjoying themselves. Everything's very cool and cutting edge. And then the owner is dropped in via helicopter and is just, he's like a goddamn rock star. And
Arthur Fortune, who's clearly a Richard Branson type. Like, this whole thing is just Virgin.
Yep, exactly. Yep, it's just Richard Branson because he's also British, and he's, I think, is he throwing money out to everyone? Is that what's getting everyone so riled up?
Yeah, he's throwing out $1 bills. They're really eating it up for $1 bills.
Just thrashing and fighting each other for $1 bills. And in the distance, Mr. Burns witnesses all this, and he realizes that he's a billionaire. How come he isn't beloved by the people?
Which he has to know.
Yeah,
it was funny to me that he's like hurt by this. Like, wait, why don't they chant my name?
You used a cattle prod to clear a way to get into that building.
Oh my God, that was one of my favorite laughs of this whole episode came when all the people are doing a conga line, fucking chanting Arthur Fortune's name, and Burns makes Smithers start up a one-man conga line. And he's like, conga, conga, conga. And then, Smithers is doing his best, and Burns mixes it up with the cattle prod. He's going, conga like you mean it. Please don't make me shock you. Fucking A, I was dying laughing at that little ditty. God damn it, did I laugh at that. Conga like you mean it. Don't you make me shock you. Fuck. God
and finally,
damn it,
you
funny.
Get yourself a Burns episode. It's a long time coming.
Fucking time, yeah. Not only have we not had Burns-centric full episodes, we've barely had him in the show, period.
Yeah, very good point, yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the first Burns-specific episode since, the $1 trillion bill episode, which seems like forever ago.
Totally. Yeah, you're right. That was seasons ago. Yeah. So Burns is still bummed out after the fact. So he recruits Homer because he just wants a regular schlub to help him become beloved by everyone. And And when he's explaining this plan to Homer, there's a joke where he's like, I want to be loved. And Homer thinks about it. He's like, well, I'm going to need some beer first, which it's a simple joke, but I love the fact that Homer is unwilling to even do his job at a baseline competency level to keep it. Yet he is willing to fuck an elderly man to keep it. Like, you could just do your job.
Yeah, you could just make small improvements throughout your day.
You stay awake. Just stay awake. Nope, but he will fuck a dying man.
Yeah, that was a good line. Like, just watching Homer's wheels turn. Like, yeah. Okay, I guess. But
this is what it takes. So yeah, and it got me thinking about like billionaires. It's like that's such a insane concept. What does Marlin Wells do if he gets $1 billion? What are your plans? Let's say maybe not. Let's say, well, what's the Powerball after taxes? Let's say 600 million. You're a 600 millionaire, Marlin.
I don't know. It seems like pretty basic bitch answers, but like, fucking house for me, house for ma. Like do the NBA Rookie of the Year thing. Like as soon as you get drafted, got to buy your ma a house. Yeah. Do that. Get rid of all the debt. Definitely not keep working. I don't understand those people who are like, if I won the lottery, I'd still be to work on Monday. You're a fucking idiot. Like, why?
Yeah, you do something that is far different from any job I've ever had. If that would even be a thought that entered your fucking skull.
Yeah. And then, honestly, probably just do fucking comedy, because you know how much fun and how much more feasible from a logistical standpoint it would do to just travel the country doing comedy if money were no object.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Like still do those fucking 36-person bar shows in the middle of nowhere, but not need the money. That would be great.
And not have to hustle back, drive 400 miles in a snowstorm so you can get to your cubicle job with that Monday.
Yeah. I think if you took money away from comedy would be a lot more fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And like you said, more feasible. Like you don't have to worry about taking time off from work and paying for gas. And boy, I sure hope this car makes it to the gig.
Yeah.
And, I drank half of what they paid me and spent the other half on the hotel for the night. Like, yeah. So,
they have a blackjack table and then bad things happen.
Yeah, there's also that.
Yep.
But it's
one of the last comedy gigs I did with you, I lost at the poker table every dime I made doing comedy that weekend.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That's a fun feeling.
Oof.
Hope I can sell some merch so I can afford to get home.
I thought you were going to say plasma.
Yeah.
The last comedy gig I did with you, I think I turned $50 to like $65 at the blackjack table. So I came out ahead.
Okay, that's a pretty
full meal. Barely.
That's a full meal at a Denny's if I've seen one. $15 profit.
That's gas station snacks, baby.
Oh, that's getting the good stuff, too.
The fucking 4.5-hour drive home tomorrow.
In a state so flat you could see the curvature of the earth.
Exactly, yeah. As 4 chubby comics fart up this Buick all the way home.
Yeah. Boy, if those seats could talk, they would scream. Please kill me.
How about you? What are you doing with your lottery winnings?
Oh God! Well, I mean, if it's like giant money, probably like hire people to because if you have $600 million, you are now a business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
You have a handful of employees that just handle that money. But yeah, kind of the same basic bitch stuff that you were mentioning. Hook up the family, hook myself up a little bit. I'd probably get into collecting cars down the road, and not
sure.
Not like one $500,000 European. It's I want to have like a 1982 fucking, I don't know, Ford Granada that has 1,000 miles on it. Like those random oddball shit that pop up. Like, hey, I want to buy that because that's ridiculous. I want to drive that around town for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't buy a Bugatti, but I would for sure buy like a Jeep Wrangler with 50 grand worth of fun shit bolted on it. You know?
I'd be like Jay Leno. I'd have an obnoxious amount of random ash because I'd want a car museum. I'm into that kind of shit. And then
right on.
I would support all the super lunatic left-wing politicians I'm into. Like, I'd fund the hell out of them because I'm into crazy shit like people going to the hospital, not having to be bankrupted. Like,
when were you radicalized, Nathan?
I know I'm a communist, but I think poor people should get to go to the dent. Clutch those pearls, America.
I do declare poor people at the doctor.
Yeah, they should get their teeth taken care of by the vet.
They should just feel death coming and hide under the porch like a dog.
Yeah, remove their own teeth. So they can think about while they're doing it, they can think about why they weren't born to rich parents.
Yeah, if they're able to do things like go to the doctor, what is next?
Yeah. Human decency? That's a slippery slope if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that is a good answer. Like funding some real change would be good.
Yeah. I'd probably build some kind of little factory back in my hometown that could employ people too. I thought that'd be a nice thing if you had fuck you money.
Yeah.
Help out the folks.
I would probably buy up farmland back home because, like, eventually the oceans are going to start joining us and we're going to be in the middle. That's where the land is going to be worth something. So
that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's the things we would do.
They're not making more land, and in fact, if global warming is it's real, and if it keeps happening like they think it's going to happen, it's actually going to be less land.
Yeah.
It's going to be less and less land, so
some days,
get it while you can.
Someday central North Dakota land will be beachfront property, so may as well.
People be spring breaking in New Salem. Surfs up at New Salem.
Just taking body shots under the giant cow.
Yeah. So they try to figure out ways to make Burns more lovable, and in what can only be seen as a baffling decision, they decide to capture Loch Ness, which is what a weird thing to do, like, as a way to become famous and loved by all.
Yeah, they'll love me if I capture the Loch Ness monster. I don't know how you got there, but.
And I have to mention, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. And one of the failed attempts, they tried to get him on like a morning radio show. And it's called Jerry Rude and the Bathroom Bunch, which cracked me up.
Yeah, knowing how you love radio, I did love that segment.
And it's basically like a Howard Stern just asking him gross personal questions that he is not Mr. Burns is not a fan. Mr. Burns, if anything, is a very proper man. And he doesn't want to talk about how many dumps he takes in a day.
Yeah. And playing fart sounds on the soundboard. We gotta hurry up, let's get this old guy in and out of here. We gotta talk to the lesbian gladiators. And there's two like female American gladiators standing there. Fucking bad morning zoo radio.
Jerry Rude and the Bathroom Bunch.
That's a good fucking. If I'd have seen this episode in 1999, I would have been Jerry Rude on the air. Like I'd have taken that for a radio name. Yeah. Jerry Rude is a good-ass radio name.
Yes, it definitely is. And when they're in Loch Ness and exploring it, one of my favorite sight gags of this episode is they have Homer like underwater in like full like the kind of old-timey deep dive scuba where they have like a hose leading oxygen in, and it shows the hose go off the boat into the water all along the sea floor and then back above land, and Homer's in a bar playing pinball. Christ, that cracked me up.
Yeah, that was funny because like the other three that are there like worried like he's been in that freezing water for hours, how's he doing it? And it just follows the thing and he's playing pinball on the other side of the lake.
Yeah. And they struggle. They can't find Loch Ness anywhere. And then Burns, because he is a maniacal monster, decides to just pump all the water out of Loch Ness, destroying the nearby community in an effort to find him. So they empty the giant lake. It turns out it works. By God, it works. I did not see that coming.
That he would find the Loch Ness monster. Yeah.
So they're able to capture Loch Ness Nessie, I guess. If you're friends with it, you call it Nessie.
Well, that's what it's called. Like, that's what it's colloquially known as.
Yeah. And kind of in like an homage to the original King Kong, they bring it to Springfield and they have it on a stage that they're going to unveil. And I think is it like the camera flashes, that Burns gets like kind of disorientated by the cameras.
Yeah, they do. You think they're going to do the King Kong thing, like all the flash bulbs are going off, and Burns is up there like, "No, you'll enrage the beast," but Nessie's just like smiling and like mugging for the camera.
And Nessie's cheesing,
and it's Burns who like freaks out and like I think passes out on the stage.
Yeah, which I got a big kick out of. And there's a fire, and there's panic everywhere, and I do like that it ends, which I think it's fitting that Homer kind of cheers up Burns by letting him know that being loved means you have to be nice to people, and that's just not what he would ever want. So just like, what, aren't you happy being hated?
Yeah, it just explains that like being loved is not in your character at all.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you be happier being you?
Yeah. And I bet some Simpsons fans are kind of like poo-pooing it, but I enjoyed Nessie being a casino floor boss.
Yep.
Like kind of a greeter and like a bit boss. Like that was dumb, but it was funny.
Yeah, it was a real dumb moment, a real dumb ending. Like, what are we going to do with her? Oh, give her a job. And then it's, just them in the casino and Nessie's in a blazer admonishing Homer for wanting one more spin on the one free spin wheel.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Another enjoyable episode. It's fine.
Yeah, solid. Not, it's a Burns episode, so it already starts pretty high for me. But it's not like, I thought the $1 Trillion Bill episode was better, or, it's not the best Burns episode. But just by being a Burns episode, it's pretty good.
Yep, agreed.
That brings us to episode 22, They Saved Lisa's Brain. The radio jockeys are hosting a gross out contest to win a trip to Hawaii, which, what a weird fucking contest. Like, it's called How Low Can You Go? Like, how much of a garbage person would you be to win a trip? I thought Homer came in with kind of a fucking limp dick attempt. We've seen Homer be fucking awful, but all he did is he made a jacket out of popcorn kernels and then like blows them up with hair dryers and then gets attacked by seagulls. He does not. He does not make it.
Bart has the more gross out of anything out of the Simpson family. Like,
which was his again?
He's like the human funnel. Like, that's sick.
Yeah. Lisa, do you want to throw a penny at your brother?
Yeah, it's like something you find on FetLife.
Remember to search for the human funnel later. Safe search off.
Make sure you use that incognito browser.
Yeah,
don't need the government knowing about that.
Living on the incog, baby.
Boy, you can also, again, kind of how you can always tell what era we are with these episodes. Boy, were we at the peak of Viagra jokes on every format of any, because that was just when Viagra was getting to be a thing, like the late 90s. Holy shit. That reminded me, like, I think it was just a slight Viagra joke in this episode, but like every shit sitcom was just buried in Viagra jokes at this time.
Yeah, because Marge mentions when they're watching TV, like, oh, they're canceling that show. That's too bad. I liked that one. I never heard so many Viagra jokes in 30 seconds or something along those lines. Yeah, that's right. That was fucking low-hanging fruit for every comedy writer.
Yeah, and she ain't wrong. Yeah.
I like that Moe's attempt at being gross out is to be ultra wholesome. Like, he's standing there in a sailor outfit with a giant lolly going, come on, don't you get it? It's me, it's Moe, but I got a sailor outfit and a big lolly. Like, it's meta.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. What's grosser than that? Me being wholesome. I was like, that's a good joke. He should have won that.
Yeah. He's ahead of his time. He's a visionary.
Nah, Kaufman ain't for everybody, man.
Yeah.
A riot breaks out because Wolfgang wins. He's just like, yeah, I win, and that's the end of it. And the whole town fucking breaks into a fucking riot. Lisa, of course, this whole time completely disgusted with humanity and the people of Springfield. She writes a scathing letter to the editor of the newspaper about how awful the people of Springfield are.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
I gotta get back for just a second. I just had a thought. Do you think Viagra, did it help or harm the sale and, like, I don't even know what the fucking, like, gas station pecker pills, like horny goat weed, shit like that? Do you think it hurt? Like, it became, I don't need horny goat weed, that's low rent. Or did it open people's eyes to penile enhancement in a pill form?
I bet it's the second one. I bet it made that kind of talk and the consideration of buying some fucking gas station dick pills more acceptable to everyone.
I can see that.
And, like, I bet that those sales didn't go down because, like, Viagra's fucking expensive, even through
That's
your
a good
insurance.
Point.
So,
very good point.
That crowd that can't afford it still can't afford it, and they, you need a sports model and a base model, So,
and as someone that worked in the snake oil industry for many years, you can get yourself a big old bottle of horny goat weed at a very reasonable price. So, treat yourself to the finest in herbal penile enhancement. We need to start selling our own supplements like Alex Jones.
Oh, America's fuck, yes, we do.
Basket, just dick pills. No longer will you have to suffer the shame of buying your herbal-based pecker pumpers at a Safeway. Get them delivered.
America's Barley Basket Vitality Supplements.
Vitamax.
Now with more barley.
What does that do? Don't worry about it. There's more of it. That's what matters.
It's filler is what it is, if we're being frank. Just you and I's smiling faces on a glossy packet.
Our beady stares watching you as you consume your. We got to think of some more besides pecker pumpers. I don't feel comfortable saying that.
You're not willing to put that on the packaging?
Yeah. I mean, whatever pushes units. I am a businessman first and foremost. We'll have to beta test. See what the public wants.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with some names and focus group it.
A hunch that America doesn't want to hear pecker pumpers here. Jesus. My husband, he's getting older, and we're just looking. You need pecker pumpers. Oh, I'm gonna go now.
Sir, how'd you get into my house?
Oh, good times.
Grab yourself a big bottle of Willy Flutters from America's Barley Basket.
Do you suffer from droopy pecker? Well, worry no more.
My favorite thing about all those gas station drugs is the how fast and loose they play with copyrighted images. Like, I've seen I've seen some gas station pet pills where it's like, you for sure didn't license Ryu from Street Fighter to be on this packet. Yeah. There's no way. Also, I don't know what 9-year-old you had draw Ryu from Street Fighter, but this ain't it.
Yep. Very good point.
Oh, God. It's just you and I and a bad Yosemite Sam with a heart on. Just like, come get your pills.
Yeah, with like Sonic the Hedgehog in gray sweatpants and just a goddamn banana bread loaf in the crotch. You and I standing proudly with a poorly animated Sonic the Hedgehog.
with a hugely visible dick print in his tight sweatpants.
Yeah, like sweatpants so tight you could see a circumcision scar. He needs to get bigger sweats. That can't be comfortable at all. I know how fast he runs.
You know you want it in impact font across the bottom.
It's not even a pill, it's a bar. You're just chomping on this bar in a fucking Circle K parking lot. It's a giant dick bar.
Just a dry, it's like a protein bar.
It's white packaging and black thick print dick bar. This'll cure what ails me.
Well, now I know what we would do with our billionaire lottery winnings. It's establish this company.
Establish ABB Co.
Oh, fuck. So Lisa,
I used to also have an idea for, if you live in a big city, it's just hard to get to a tanning bed, but who can afford and who has the room for a tanning bed in your home? I think they should invent a tanning bag. It's like a bell-shaped like sleeping bag that I don't know, you gotta like gel the inside so you don't burn up, so you have some kind of cooling agent, but you somehow hang it from like a chandelier or like from the edge of a door, and you kind of climb in and zip yourself in and just kind of get baked inside. And then I guess you'd have to like unzip yourself out like in a weird birthing process. So like a naked, gelled up, slightly tan version of yourself.
Just falling out of it, just wet like a cocoon.
Yeah. You forgot that the maintenance man was coming by your apartment. He's gonna fix the dishwasher. There's a slightly shaking human-sized pig. He's like, I don't know, I guess it's kind of modern art. 45 minutes later, you just pile out of it. You scamper away because you didn't know there's someone in there. He just sees a pile of what he assumes is afterbirth from all the tanning goop.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I'll have to compose myself and write down these notes. I think we got something with the tanning sack.
Dick pills and tanning sacks. Yeah, that's how we'll make it. I was envisioning like a space blanket sleeping bag that you just zip
like
up
a
in.
Bell-shaped space blanket. Yeah, like a teardrop shape. Pardon me, not a bell, a teardrop shape, because you would hang from that part in the middle. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh God, that one almost did me in. I gotta learn to have more of a, gotta keep my eyes on the prize. I couldn't, if we were in the middle of a pitch meeting, I'd get laughed out of the room right now. Mm-hmm. I gotta prove I'm serious about the
If
product.
you're gonna take this to Shark Tank, you gotta be able to get through it without laughing yourself until you're seeing spots.
You and I go on Shark Tank, I don't even let you know that you're the one that's gonna have to crawl in and show it off. Marlin, if you could disrobe right now and I'll grease you up and we'll show them what we can do with the old
Wait, why do you have to grease lace me up. Why is that a step? I think I
would want to describe. I want to use like a brush and do it. Like I want to do a good job.
Just,
like, you know,
just a long grill brush like you used to clean your barbecue grill.
And it's like, you know, you can cut your own hair, but if you have someone else do it, they can get it from every angle.
Holy shit. That's the thing. I would probably need you to do my back anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't have the shoulder flexibility for it anymore.
Just hop in that sack there. That's like, that sack is elevated 5 feet off the ground. How do you expect me to get into it? Marlin, I don't want you to anger Mark Cuban if you can get in that sack. Or maybe there's some kind of pulley system. That's what it is. Jesus. When you're inside the tanning sack, you pull yourself up. And there's like a safety. You like punch a lever and then it recoils the pulley and then you just plop down. But no, I like the idea of the birthing process too. We're going to have to, oh man, I'll talk to the guys and...
talk to the guys in R&D and get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, well, we'll have multiple versions and we'll try them all out. Yeah,
I'm looking around at my apartment and I don't think I have room for this thing.
Well, that's the beauty. You can hang it from a door. We'll put like a hook on it.
Then why, to demonstrate, are you suspending it from a crane, apparently, 5 feet above the ground?
That'd be more majestic if we had... I want to be able to sway. So I think that'd really add to it.
I think that detracts from the experience for the user.
Now I picture the poor maintenance man opening the door. It's weirdly heavy. And he swings it open and here's a grunt. He sees this giant pouch kind of moving. Oh, wonder what that could be. Oh, well, time to go fix the garbage disposal.
And then come tumbling out of it just fucking sticky and bronze.
Yeah, just a splashing sound as a grown man bursts out of that pouch. Whew.
God, the smell inside that pouch.
Jesus. And it had to be uncomfortably hot in any room it's in, so it's just steaming inside that pouch.
Also, I think this is a flawed concept from the get-go because I think it's light and not heat that makes you tan, Nathan.
No, totally. But like the inside's light. It almost looks like Christmas lights under a thin membrane.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's got a real like fire in the sky vibe kind of in the inside of it. Like,
sorry for assuming you hadn't thought this all the way through.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Yep. I've been trying to think. I wish if I knew some kind of like electrical engineer, would we need 220 to get a proper tan, or could we run this off a standard plug-in? Standard plug-in's a game changer. You can sell it anywhere then. Yeah. As long as you can get it down to 110, you're going to be fine. Yep. 220 like it's a fucking welder. I mean, these people are on the go. They're busy city-dwelling people. They don't got all day to get a nice, good bronze on. They don't have 220 in their home either, though. Now we're just getting into fucking electric semantics here. Well, you know, if you could get it in your garage, but really, if you could hang it from a rafter in a garage, boy, you could put it wherever you needed then. God, just casually driving down your alleyway in your neighborhood, there's a garage that's open with a sack swaying and kind of moving. Like, that's the Andersons are up to something. Good for them. Keeping it spicy. Holy shit. You live below it. When you hear that pulley give, it just smacks against the ceiling. You hear someone groan. Christ, it's hot there. Holy shit. God, I get way too much enjoy. I've had this idea in my head for years. Oh. Jesus Christ. There is for sure no one listening anymore. We are daring them to find out what this episode's about. Holy shit. Okay, so if anyone knows Mark Cuban, if you're listening, Give us some feedback, some constructive criticism.
Yeah. Let us know how to get our fucking health services business off the ground. So far, we have some manner of tanning womb and dick pills.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So Lisa is disgusted by the town and their behavior and how uncultured they are. Homer, in the meantime, has not won, but he's somehow stolen the second place prize for the Gross Out contest, which is free boudoir photography, which is a spicy fucking prize for a public contest.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Especially if to someone that won or took second in a Gross Out contest.
Hey, congratulations. Take some saucy photos.
Yeah.
Lisa writes the letter to the newspaper, running down Springfield for being a bunch of uncultured swine. There's a great moment where Reverend Lovejoy pulls up to her in what looks like a bookmobile, asking, hey, any recommendations for this bookmobile? And she's like, yeah, anything by Jane Austen would be great. And as he pulls away, you see that the back half of the truck says book burning mobile, and there's an active fire inside there. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was a good visual.
So Lisa's struggling with Springfield as a whole, which is about when she gets a secret message from someone via letter. They had read her letter in the newspaper, and they invite her to come to this house and to bring a dessert, which I thought was a fun touch.
Yeah. And am I wrong, or was the letter delivered in the form of a paper airplane?
Yep, sure was. Just landed in her lap when she was sitting in her room.
One of those things you just don't do as you grow up. When is the last time you made a paper airplane?
I couldn't fucking tell you.
When I was 8 years old, I was making 5 a week. Where you learn different. I could do multiple different kinds. I could experiment with different forms of it. That's a lost art once you get older.
I used to have a book that I think I probably got at a book fair.
That seems like one. Yep,
different designs for paper airplanes. Yeah. I was never any good at it. I wasn't. My folds weren't tight enough. I was never good at making a paper airplane. My grandpa was big on making paper airplanes, and then he'd stick a toothpick in the end of it and huck it at you. Oh.
That went from fun to terrifying.
That was fun. As soon as I started telling that, I was like, this isn't as fun as you think it is, Marlin.
And he'd kill stray cats. Moving on.
But yes, never any good. I was never any good at building a paper airplane. I don't have the engineer's mind, Nathan.
I think it's like some kids are just born with a juvenile delinquent DNA, and they're just naturally good. They're the kids that can fart on cue. They're the kids that can gleek. To this day, I can't gleek. All the juvenile delinquent kids could gleek their asses off.
Yeah, I was never any good at any of the classic class clown fucking, delinquent shit, like throwing a paper airplane or spitballs. Well, any idiot can do spitballs, but yeah, I was never any good at any of that.
And I'm sure there's some kind of you learn about rifling of the straw you use. I'm sure there's a lot of science that goes into proper spitballing too. So
I was too busy reading. And then to participate in paper airplanes. Yeah.
I was doing schoolwork.
I was one of those kids that knew the difference between the 3 versions of there while everyone else was shooting spitballs at the unpopular girl.
Starting her coat on fire.
The letter, as she learns when she shows up at the house, is from the Springfield chapter of Mensa, and it's the scientist and Skinner and Dr. Hibbert and comic book guy, which I thought was a little out of place, but then I was like, no, probably smart. We know that he can do internet shit before anyone else could.
I got a question about who was the woman in that group?
A new character, I think. She introduces herself as Lindsay Nagel, I think is her name. But I don't think she's someone we've seen before.
Oh, see, I was thinking maybe she was like a lawyer in an earlier episode, but that could be. I could just be conflating
her voice
two people.
is familiar. I think she's like a female voice of many characters.
That could be it, totally. Kind of like that voice of all the different cashiers and customer service people. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think her voice has definitely been on the show, but maybe this character not. She's a one and done character, as far as I know. Lisa thrilled to be part of this group of intellectuals. In the meantime, we get Homer doing his boudoir session in the bedroom. And I think he's just in his underwear, getting photographed. And we look over, and the look on Bart's face. Bart has his face and hands up to the window with the perfect shocked, horrified expression.
Yep.
And Homer real quickly takes down the blinds and then immediately lifts them back up again. And now it's Bart and Milhouse both there making the same face.
Yep.
God damn it, that was funny.
That was good. Yeah.
So Homer's like, well, we gotta reschedule. You gotta get out of here. The Mensa crowd is all dressed up in Ren Fair regalia, and they're walking through the park. They've reserved a gazebo, which I didn't know there were parks that had more than one gazebo.
Yeah,
so many gazebos as to necessitate a reservation form.
Well, the park in my hometown, there was a sign up if you wanted to use the one good, like...
I could see if you have one, that you would need it. But yeah, that was funny to me. Like, we reserved number 7, but it's like a bunch of the guys from the town just drinking in
just
there.
Local toughs. Yeah.
And they're very much like, get out of here, nerds.
Yeah. I did like when they were talking about Mensa, and they mentioned, I think it's Maria Vos Savant, who had an article in the Parade magazine. I think she's like Guinness World Records smartest human or something like that.
Oh, really? I didn't know any of those people were.
Oh, not a Parade man, I see.
No.
You don't enjoy the Parade in the Sunday paper every week?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Don't follow the antics of Howard Hughes. Sort of the comic strips that's been in the Parade. Holy shit. I gotta stop talking about the Parade magazine.
Man, how far are you gonna follow this one? It was Andy Capp last week. How far into
At least Andy Capp is in syndicated newspapers. Howard Hughes is only in the Parade magazine. Oh boy.
I didn't buy them, but I did see when I was in the gas station earlier today a bag of those Andy Capp fries that you had brought up last week.
No kidding.
I was like, look at those. So Lisa kind of tells the Mensa group, she convinces them to stand up for themselves over this gazebo catastrophe. They go in to confront the mayor, and he immediately assumes he's got for something real serious, and he runs off. And it was a great visual joke. He just hops on a horse and goes fucking flying down the street, and then rides the horse into a cargo plane that is flying at street level. And then it takes off, and then the horse parachutes out. I thought that was a great, that would be Quimby's escape plan.
I like how he's so corrupt. Anything out of the ordinary he assumes is like his empire crumbling and he's going to go to prison.
Yeah, he assumes that every little thing is his, Goodfellas come down. And they read the town charter that says, basically, if there's no mayor, that any intelligent group can function as mayor. And I like the Wiggum is mumbling through the town charter and just blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sure, whatever, if that's what you say. And he's done. I love that he doesn't have the time for that. They go to work improving the town with such improvements as a symphony at the dog track, which we've discussed the sadness of dog tracks before. I love the idea of, let's have a philharmonic there.
Yep. lift these people's spirits.
That'll class up the joint. I also like their other idea of, we found that people go faster through yellow lights, so they took away all the green lights. Now we just have red and yellow. Then you have, like, Lenny sitting at a red light, and then it changes to yellow, and he fucking screams through the intersection, like, stay yellow, stay yellow, stay yellow, and he's gone. He's like, I've never made better time in my life.
This is like a good premise for jokes. Like, how can we improve that in silly ways? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some quality stuff in there. We get back to Homer doing a photo shoot down in the basement in like a fireman's costume, and they've built up some manner of set. They've kind of dressed up the Simpsons basement with pillows and stuff. So he does the photo shoot and then gives this book of photos to Marge, and she's like, you, the audience, think she's like taken aback at how steamy this is and how great she's super into it. But then the more she lets on, she's just into, how did you get our basement to look like that? Look at this. Is that your workbench? And all it took was a couple of pillows, huh?
Oh, yeah, that was probably my favorite part in that. Yeah, she's kind of intrigued because, again, they have a very healthy sex life. But then it's just like, you did that with our basement?
Yeah, I love that. That's the joke. That's the turn of, like, what she's actually oohing and awing over is how good the basement looks.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Mensa group is all starting to turn on each other because they all have their different things that they think are priorities. Stephen Hawking shows up, voiced by himself, and that's a weird way to put that, you know, because that's a program. I think of program that you or I could buy that voice.
It's like a see and say voice.
Yeah, but he like full on, because that's a specific, I think it's a Microsoft product who made that particular voice. But he's credited as a guest star, which, boy, that I got to, my wheels started turning of like, did they bring him in to read these?
They went to him. I hope that's how that went.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Did they do this in person? Did he just send them files? Like, I would like to know the story of
him loaded into the cargo belly of a plane in pitch darkness, flown across the United States to get to LA so they can do that. So they forget to feed him.
Yeah. There's some pretty decent Stephen Hawking's jokes in there. He shows up and essentially shames all of them for being corrupted by power. Like, you're supposed to be better than this because of how intelligent you are. Meanwhile, the town people that they were just talking to mob up because Springfield mobs up quick. And they destroy the gazebo, but Stephen Hawking, with an Inspector Gadget-style helicopter on top of his chair, saves Lisa from the collapsing gazebo. And that's pretty much it. That's how we wrap that one up.
Yep. And
this may be, you know me, I love a Lisa episode. I did not care for this one much at all, actually.
In my notes, I put enjoyable. And I was like, you know what? And then I think that's what we're going to get a lot of. Enjoyable. Like, I don't know. I think maybe I liked it a little more than you did, which we haven't said that a lot the last 6-7 episodes. But yeah, like, I don't know. I wasn't insulted by any of it. Like, I thought, okay, it's just, again, just how many big laughs were there, you know? Like, I enjoyed the gross out thing at the beginning, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I liked a lot of the Homer with the boudoir photos quite a bit. I thought that was funny and a funny payoff. But the Lisa stuff, I just didn't, I don't know. Maybe I think Lisa works better as the kind of the odd man out and not as surrounded by people who are like her. I don't know. I'm just kind of off the cuff trying to get to the bottom of it, but I didn't love it. It was all right. But
yeah, like, I can see that. I didn't mind it, but yeah, I can totally see that. Let's see how the final episode of the batch fares, Marlin. We're up to episode 23, And I believe the end of season 10, the final episode.
Yeah, this is the last one. Only 23 episodes in season 10, so let's cap it off.
This would be 30 minutes over Tokyo, which we get, again, showing when this show was made. They're in a cyber cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, again, seeing shit like this on TV, but I didn't even really understand what the internet was in 1999. Do you remember ever going to places where they supplied the computer and everything?
No, like I was certainly aware that those places existed. I don't think that I've ever I've certainly never been in one. I don't think I've ever seen one out in the wild.
The closest I ever came to was, with a lot of people, going to the computer labs in college. In college or in school, in high school. There had to have been a couple around Fargo when we were that age,
Yeah, probably. I think today that's probably just the library, right? If an adult, just Joe Schmo, needs to use the internet but doesn't have it and can't afford it, they probably just go to the library, I'm guessing.
I would think, yeah, must be and I wonder, how did the did you just pay by the hour? All of it's baffling to me.
I would assume so. I'd assume you pay by the hour.
Yeah, and it says cafe, so were there dudes eating meatball subs while using a goddamn desktop computer?
I think they're using the city version of the word cafe, which is just coffee and scones. I don't know that you're getting a fucking chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes at this
giant
cafe.
Plate of soup, easily spillable. It's in a saucer.
I've never thought of that. Why does this area of the world use the word cafe when they mean restaurant?
Yeah. Oh yeah, my head, when I think of cafe, that's where you go to get a good, cheap, hearty lunch.
Yeah, it's the Main Avenue Cafe in every small town that has, good breakfast and cheap coffee.
Yeah. Cafe on the corner, to quote Sawyer Brown, 1990s country music hitmakers.
Oh, geez, look at you.
Look at me go. So while they're in this cyber cafe, Snake bursts in, as Snake often does, and somehow steals all of Homer's online bank account money with a floppy disk.
I fucking love that. I laughed so hard at that.
Make your head hurt trying to figure out how that could be feasible.
Just puts the disc in the drive, and Homer's money all disappears, and then takes the disc out and runs away. That is not how banking works. But holy shit, that was funny.
Yeah. So it turns out that money that they'd been saving was for a family vacation. So they go, we were going to go on a trip. Now what's going to happen? And so they try to figure out what they can do. Homer breaks into Flanders' house, and what I thought was hilarious, because it's middle of the night, Flanders is just up eating cookies, drinking milk, and say, "Howdy, neighbor, money troubles." It happens all the time.
Money troubles again?
How childish and sheepish Homer was. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. God, that cracked me up.
So funny.
There's a hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah. Oh, heidi ho, money troubles again?
And
Homer, we can't have you coming over here every time you got a bill to pay. God, that was funny.
And what does he say? Because how do you guys live so well? It's times are tough here too. We're paying tithe to 8 different churches to cover our bets.
Yeah, that was good.
And but he tells them about this money kind of, I don't know what you would call them, a Susie Orman type money guru that teaches you how to stretch a dollar.
Doing a seminar at some hotel ballroom.
Yep. And this guy's trying to teach him how to, it's just going off. And you think this all those appliances in the Flanders house were from a murder scene. Getting a discount milkshake machine because it was involved in a homicide.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sight gigs in all these episodes was was at that seminar. He tells them all to take a penny out of their pocket and squeeze it real hard. And Homer does. And he opens his hand. It's in his skin and it gets in his bloodstream. It's like going towards his heart. And Marge is like, not again.
Yeah, squeezed it so hard that it went through his skin. And yeah, just it moving up his arm. I was like, God, what are we doing? That was fucking funny.
Yeah. So at the seminar, they tell all the ways you got to do this. You save money by doing this. You save money by doing this. And so the Simpsons take it to heart. They start kind of pinching pennies. They don't shop at the 99-cent store or the 60-cent store. 66. They shop at the 33-cent store, which I thought was just that garbage truck dumping merchandise.
Yep, just boxes that say merchandise on it, just dumping it into the roof.
Much like drugstores, I was unaware that for a lot of people, the Dollar General or the dollar store is a big part of their consuming lifestyle.
Especially in small towns, like Dollar Generals have made their ways into small towns in a big way up in our area. And yeah, it's like going to the grocery store or a kind of half-assed Walmart, you know?
Yep. That's what a friend of mine says. He's like, it's good for just quick shitty snacks or quick toiletries.
Yeah, exactly. I need paper towels.
Mm-hmm. Which paper towels will work for me, but I am a very brand loyal when it comes to my toilet paper. I am a Scotsman, ride or die.
I have zero brand loyalty in my toilet paper.
Yeah.
I'm real slutty with my toilet paper. Any old brand will do.
And Scott toilet paper is a hot take because some people are baffled that anyone would ever buy Scott's because Scott is, you can read through a slice of Scott newspaper or toilet paper. It is thin. That's the beauty of it. You get the good wrap. I don't want to wipe my ass with an oven mitt, Marlin. We went over this before.
I don't think I ever think about it. I think I just find myself in the toilet paper aisle and go, yeah, I probably need some, and just grab whatever 4-roll pack is in front of me.
Oh, well, you maybe need to go to a seminar because I'm the guy that I buy the one that's the size of a pickup box trailer because you save a nickel a slice that way. I gotta back my car up to the cargo bay to get my toilet paper.
Yeah, I'm not looking to throw a shoulder out buying toilet paper. I buy 4 packs.
I legit buy the biggest one they have at Walmart. The 28 4-packs wrapped up in heavy duty industrial plastic.
You're moving shit. You taking your spare tire out of the trunk to get your toilet paper in there.
I gotta use a side cutters to cut through the plastic. A box cutter can't do it. So the Simpsons are on a huge money saving kick. And one of the other things from the seminar they learned is, hey, if you want to go on a vacation for cheap, it's possible. You just have to go to the airport and mill around. You can sure tell this was pre 9/11. They don't really like just milling about at the airport anymore. They want you to have a plan.
Yeah, the idea of going to the airport with no ticket, no destination in mind, and just being like, yeah, this one looks good is so baffling.
Yeah. Did you ever fly pre 9/11?
No, I didn't. I didn't fly for the first time till probably 2007.
Mm-hmm. I flew Christmas of '99 that was the first time I flew and the last time I flew up until a few years ago. But yeah, that was pre 9/11, so it was definitely a quicker process back then.
Mm-hmm. Just roll up in there and get on.
If you ever want to experience what it was like to fly before 9/11, before TSA, book yourself an Amtrak ticket. Holy shit, there is no security. You could have an old-timey nuclear bomb, just Little Boy or whatever the hell the name of it was. Just have it on a wheelbarrow.
Shaped bomb full of rivets.
You just write to the government on the side of it with a very determined look on your face. They would just wave you right in. They're very, very YOLO at Amtrak.
That's funny. Yep, never been on a train either. So
the Simpsons are again just milling about, kind of waiting to see what they all have hopes. Lisa wants to go to France. Where does Marge want to go? I'm trying to picture what she's dressed like.
I don't remember. I think Hawaii. Yeah, her.
Oh, there you go.
Her and Maggie have lays on, like, because the
Bart,
idea is that like that there will be some no shows, and one of these planes will have extra seats that they want to get rid of for cheap.
Yep, and Bart wants to go to Transylvania, which I like, and Homer wants to go to Jamaica, and it's just a lame Homer joke. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't awful, but just like Homer being Jamaican, like, oh boy.
Speaking Rastafarian, yeah.
Yeah. And it turns out that the tickets are available, but they're for Tokyo, Japan. So oh boy, I guess we're going to go to Japan. And beating them to the punch is the Flanders family. They have like their ceremonial Japanese garb on.
They're all wearing kimonos, yeah.
Yeah. But Homer commandeers one of those luggage cart, like electric luggage carts, and peels out of there, passes them, and apparently drives it right onto the plane, as far as I can tell.
Yep, pretty much. Just plows over the Flanderses.
Yeah, so they are on their way to Japan. And so that's basically the rest of the episode, is just them flying to Japan and enjoying everything that's in Japan. And on that note, you are a man that has taken a trans-Pacific flight before.
Uh-huh.
How long were you in the air?
16 hours?
That is fucking wild. Holy shit.
It was like 3 from Fargo to Chicago, and I think 13 from Chicago to Hong Kong.
No kid, that is wild, man. Like, I would have to plan my diet out days in advance to make sure I didn't have to shit during that time, because I can barely piss on a plane. Like, I have to like disrobe from the waist down and just lunge my body at the open door and just hope I'm aiming towards the toilet. My hands can't reach down there; they're pinned to my torso.
It was a nightmare. I did not get one wink of sleep the entire time. So by the time we landed, I am just like Timothy Leary hallucinating from lack of sleep. And because like I had an aisle seat, and I would sit and like start to maybe nod off a little bit, and then either get hit in the elbow by the drink cart going by because I'm wider than the seat is, or catch a fucking knee or an elbow from the 6-year-old in the seat next to me who's like thrashing about. So I'm just dead tired all the way there, but unable to sleep. And like, I came off of that plane so fucking disoriented and dehydrated. It was a nightmare. Fun trip, but the flying part, yowza, was that's awful.
That's a lot of time to spend in the air.
Yeah. And then it's like, we got there like 8:00 p.m. local time, and the company I was with, like, they were there to greet us at the airport, like, hey, let's get drinking. I'm like, oh no. This is bad. This is going to be a bad trip.
Yeah, because nothing makes me want to stay awake more than alcohol.
Right.
That never puts me to sleep.
But you got to kind of try to reset your clock. The time difference is like 13 hours different.
That's wild, yeah.
Yeah, if it's 6 p.m. here, it's 7 a.m. the following day there. And God damn it. I was fucked up for a couple of days there.
I think it's mentioned, there's a gag when the plane lands. It's like, you arrive at your destination. The local time is tomorrow.
Yep. I took note of that.
So they are now in Tokyo, and of course it's going to lead to lots of zany antics. Like, I know Homer and Bart go and see a traditional sumo match where they're throwing the salt, which Homer wants to get some salt for his giant pretzel, and then it turns into like a WWE style sumo match because immediately Homer's getting thrashed, but Bart, ever the company man, the team player, brains the guy with a folding chair. Which, if you watched wrestling in 1999, that was as common as an arm bar back then. That was just a traditional wrestling
headshots,
move. Yep. Just chairs to the head. So Homer technically wins, and he's greeted by the Emperor, who he immediately throws into a pile of used sumo jocks, which can't smell good.
Nope.
So is that what leads them to going to jail? They end up going to jail.
Yep, Bart and Homer end up in jail, in sumo jail.
Which looks positively delightful.
Yeah, they're like drinking tea. Like they seem to be having the best time.
Yeah, there's like
vacation.
geishas there to get them things. Like and which has to infuriate Lisa because all she wants to do is go see something more traditionally Japanese. Because where do they go and eat in typical Simpsons fashion? Is it Americaville or American Town?
Yep, America Town. And that bit with that waiter is so fucking good.
And did you notice the sign out in front? It's Uncle Sam, Elvis, and the Kool-Aid Man. That's like the mascots of American Town.
Yeah, I love that kind of shit. Like, what would other countries caricature America as? And that's pretty perfect.
So I guess the American Town came, before the them going to jail, because it's when they get out of jail. At this point, Lisa's really bummed because they've been there for a while and she hasn't got to experience anything. And Homer tries to cheer her up by twisting their last remaining Japanese money, like cash, into like a little a crane. What's that called? Is that origami?
Origami, yeah.
And she is delighted by it until the money gets picked up by the wind and that crane flies away. And they're now trapped in another country. They go to the embassy, who basically just tells them to leave, get a job.
Go get a job.
Which they do. It's like the name of the company's great. It's them waist deep in gutting fish all day.
Knife goes in, fish guts. Knife goes in, guts come out.
Yeah, Bart loves it. Bart's finally found his calling.
He's super into it, yeah.
There's like that hourly morale boosting video, like a cartoon squid.
Yeah. Oh, it's time for the song. Yeah.
I can't think of it's like Fukijama Fish Concern. I know Concern is the title, which I got a big kick out of. So they and then Homer figures out a way. Why are we watching this? Let's watch something interesting. They find he turns the channel on that TV, and there's a game show that looks positively terrifying. And that's how they. It's like basically your wildest dream will come true if you win. And
yeah,
of
it's
course,
like a whatever you wish for. That's what the prize is.
Yeah. So they kind of they have their choice. Homer was about to say something idiotic, but Marge bursts in and we want to get a plane ticket home. That's what we want.
Yeah.
And in traditional Japanese game shows, they're more just like punishment.
It's bonkers.
Yeah. Which brought back the memory of that great SNL skit where Chris Farley is a tourist in Japan. And the game show is just out of control. Like they hook electrodes to him and stuff like that.
Oh, I've never seen that sketch.
Oh, man. It's, yeah. And a guy who had a solid gold run on that show. It's one of my favorite things he's involved in. It's just him panicked, screaming out like the few Japanese words that he knows. And just by dumb luck, it's like he just screams out Godzilla. And they're like, Godzilla. And then they talk to the judges. The judges mutter about it. And it's like, ding. So he's like, life is spared. So they're on the show, and it's very dangerous. It's basically just endless punishment.
Homer as that pinata is so fucking good.
With like a gag in his mouth too.
Yeah.
And everyone's blindfolded, so they don't know. And then Bart's like Lisa's like, I had no idea it was you, Dad. Bart's like, yeah, I had an inkling.
Yeah.
Just take a few swings out on him. Yeah, that was a great scene. And then it's them climbing that mountain. And then and then also Homer as the human lightning conductor. And when the host goes, don't worry, he seems okay, but he's being burned internally. I thought was so he had to reassure the audience. Trust me, he is dying a painful death.
Yeah, don't let it fool you. Yeah. He's in bad shape right now.
No, the climbing the mountain's the final one because they have to walk across. Their tickets are on that rickety bridge over that active volcano, and Homer still gets struck by lightning. And I also like too, like it's like. I thought it's a dumb gag, but a good gag. It's like, at least the lightning's done. He gets zapped by lightning again. It's like, he thinks about it. Oh, I sure hope they don't have ice cream. And then he just gets zapped by lightning
hit by
again.
lightning again. Yeah. God.
Yeah, so dumb, but God, I laughed. Yeah. And so they have to try to figure out how they're going to do it, like because it's a very rickety walkway across a very angry looking volcano. And they try to get it. And Lisa's does it first because she's the lightest, but then it starts breaking. And then Marge goes after her and it starts breaking. So it's basically becoming a human chain of them holding each other's hands and feet. Yeah. And finally, Bart goes and gets the tickets, but the whole thing collapses. They fall into the lava, which is technically not lava. It's like some kind of orange flavored drink. Yeah. They pour out of a drain back into the game show studio. Homer is still screaming at birds over and over again. And they end up winning the tickets. So I do like before they go, the next contestants are a Canadian couple that are getting covered in scorpions.
Yeah. And they're very Canadian about it. Oh, geez. Oh.
Yeah. I think it was Orangeade is the name of the beverage.
And he's got a can of it. Like, it's not lava, it's Orangeade, our sponsor, Orangeade. Yeah. It's very funny.
So they're on their way home, but then the plane is grabbed out of the air by Godzilla.
I really laughed at this part, by the way.
Yeah, and like how calm the pilot is. Godzilla is expected to be fighting at 35,000 feet. He leaves us alone, and then we only have to worry about Mothra.
Yeah, usually and it's the calm tone of the pilot is what sells it. Like usually he lets us go by the time we get to 30,000 feet, and then we just have to deal with Mothra, but he's tied up with Rodan and Gamera. It's like,
I was just gonna say, who were the two more B characters? It was Rodan and Gamera. Yeah.
God damn it, that was funny.
Yeah, that was a. I mean, my notes. Yeah, like there wasn't a whole lot of like, holy shit, I'm dying laughing, but there was a ton of little laughs. Like I was constantly chuckling in this episode. So it's
a lot of little shit, like the waiter in America Town who is like, what do I know? I'm dumb American, and like I love that Homer is just entranced by the Japanese toilet because of course he would be. Like, just little things like that. The Simpsons out of their element. I thought there was some good jokes. The Gundam cartoon on TV that gives them all seizures.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some decent stuff in there.
I would say this is one of my favorite batches of 5 we've done since things started going downhill.
Pretty solid all the way through, right? Like, not a lot of real bright spots, but no real stinkers. That Mensa one didn't do a lot for me, but I wasn't like, fuck this, and I didn't shoot my TV like Elvis.
Yeah.
But
yet. We're getting you there.
No, it was a good batch.
Like, this episode could have popped into the middle of season 6, and it wouldn't have stood out, but it also wouldn't have stuck out because it was subpar. I would have enjoyed this then, too.
Yeah, exactly.
We did it.
That wraps up another batch and another season. Ends season 10 of The Simpsons. Nathan, we've watched 10 fucking seasons of The Simpsons.
It's just flown by.
In 45 weeks.
Yeah, look at us go. They said we couldn't. They doubted us.
Mm-hmm. And what are they to say now?
Yeah, let's hear them talk now. All of the haters.
Yeah, there's a solid batch. We'll kick into season 11 next week. That'll be episodes 1 through 5. Makes keeping track of the episodes real easy. Which
nice and simple.
Yeah, I'm pretty into that. You keep fighting off that COVID. We don't want you to be succumbing to the Ro-Ro now.
Yep, can't. It's been a roller coaster of bizarreness. I will say, if it wasn't for the chance it could kill you, It's a very fascinating virus because how much it changes day to day is so weird.
Oh yeah, like it's a different. It's like you have a new sickness every day.
It is, yeah. Like I thought I was done like 5 days ago. It's like, oh, I've had like 2 or 3 days in a row where I wouldn't even know that I'm sick. It's like, oh, now my chest feels funny. I want my chest to be boring. I want it to feel normal all the time. Something I don't want it to be like. And then, I can't taste food today. That's fun. Or my nose doesn't work anymore. Huh.
Just this random number generator of symptoms going around.
It's just like you're like an old shitty fuse box and things just keep tripping on it.
Well, stick a penny in there and hope for the best, I guess.
See what we can do. Get him through another year.
I'm told that causes fires, but I've never seen it. Just jamming a penny in.
Right. Like crinkle up a gum wrapper just to keep a current going. This'll work.
That wraps up another episode. You can find us online at Barley Basket USA on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. Episodes 1 through 5 of Season 11 next week.
We did it. I'll see you guys there. Come join us, won't you?